Welcome to Newsline. My friend Farah Shaukat Ali is on leave. My guest today is Maithri Gunratna. Maithri, there are so many things happening, and somebody told me that if Sajith Premadasa becomes the leader of the UNP, Maithri Gunratna will rejoin the UNP.
I think
Bandula, I'm not going any googly, but is it true? A strong UNP told me.
Spontaneously inventing stories. Nevertheless, I mean, if we have sacrificed so much in this fight to get rid of Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe, and if Mr. Sajith Premadasa is appointed as Prime Minister and he becomes the leader of the UNP, and there is a decent invitation, because we have also sacrificed a lot. I have started my own political party, so I can't, it's not a decision I can make on my own to go it alone, but we'll certainly give it valuable consideration. And after speaking to my rank and file, I have got 30 members of the local government bodies. So
you're smiling, so maybe you might disband the party.
No, we won't disband it. The best case scenario would be maybe even an alliance with the United National Party, and we'll see. I think it is time that someone takes over the UNP now, because it has bled enough, and I feel that Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe, even at this stage, will not let anyone come and take over the UNP, because he thinks it's his family inheritance, and he will sit in the demise of the UNP. It is time for Mr. Sajith Premadasa to make that clarion call and now take over and take this country and the United National Party forward.
But some people say that it seems when Maithri Gunratna comes on our program, he seems the way you come out with all this against Mr. Wickramasinghe, that you have something personal against him. Is it true?
No, actually, Bandula, I have absolutely nothing personal, and I in fact, I am thankful to him for the position I am in today, because he has sent me through the mill, so much to say, by on various occasions, by not giving the due place in the UNP, and putting us through so much of trials and tribulations. He has given me a good training. I would say it's like a commando training. So politically, I have been able to survive even without joining another political party, like going to the SLFP or to the PA or to the Port Tour. Most of the politicians, when they were removed or sacked from the UNP, they went and joined the SLFP. But I was able to maintain my identity, started a new political party, and like Mr. Gamini Sanayaka Lalita Tulat Mudali, we were able to keep ourselves afloat until the turbulent times are over, and hope it will be over. And I think if at all, what we could not do, President Sirisena has done for the UNP, that is to get a new leader for the UNP.
No, but it hasn't happened.
No, so correct, but it is, I think it is coming to that, Bandula, because President categorically has stated that he is not going to give the leadership or the premiership to the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe. So if they want to form the government and take it forward, they will have to come with some alternate candidate. And the most popular person in the UNP today is, I feel, is Mr. Sajith Premadasa.
But the President can't tell the UNP to appoint their leader.
No,
because
they can't.
It's the
no,
UNP
I don't think he is trying to do it. But what will happen is the UNP rank and file, and I feel most of the MPs, most of them have spoken to me, and they feel that Mr. Sajith Premadasa should take it over. They are also focusing and trying to get him to take it over and go forward. So I think the change will come within. When Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe is not going to be offered the premiership, even if he shows the 113, the change and it will come within the UNP if they want power, and politics is power. Everyone wants power. So if the UNP wants to continue in this next 1.5 years and show a change which they could not in the last 3.5 years, I think it is ideal time for new leadership to come in and take the UNP forward.
Why only Sajith? What about Ravi Karunanayake? What about Navin Disanayake? What about other leaders?
No, the point is, Bandula, I mean, Navin Disanayaka, Ravi Karunanayaka, yes, but Sajith has a lot of ground support, I would say. And he has, even as the Minister of Housing and Construction, he did a lot of work as compared to the others of the UNP who are only talk shops, NATO, no action, talk only. Whereas he constructively did a lot of housing and construction and gave benefit to the poor. So he has, I feel he has a huge ground support among the UNP, and there is maybe a feel-good factor in the UNP, rank and file, if he comes forward.
You think it will happen?
I don't think it will happen. I don't think it will happen because as it is now, Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe sees a rejuvenated UNP. He sees that the UNP supporter has come out and vigorously trying to campaign and support the UNP. So he sees this as a ticket to the next presidential election if he can contest and win. So on that basis, knowing the vintage Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe, he is not going to give power. He will come out with some compromise and he will try to offer it to someone else, not in the UNP. He will try to offer it to someone else and see that he is preserved as the leader of the UNP.
But there is a truth in that, because Mahinda Rajapaksa and Maithripala Sirisena has strengthened the UNP. I think UNP people they got together.
Yeah, they got
unified.
together.
So I mean, Wickramasinghe is right.
No, correct. But the point is, Bandula, although they have got together, I wonder whether that same support will come forward if it is Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe who is going to contest the next presidential election.
Yeah.
If he is going to lead the party again, whether that same momentum will remain is a matter to be seen, which I feel it won't happen. In this happiness and enthusiasm, they see that Mr. Sajith Premadasa will come and take over. That is the ground reality. And people come to Colombo every time they have been called to Colombo in the intention to see that Sajith will take over the leadership of
Which is always very interesting. A viewer has said, because he has said Sajith has faithfully stayed with the party. Navin left and joined SLFP, and Ravi came from another party.
Yeah. Yes, so that is perfectly correct. That is perfectly correct. I think Mr. Navin Disanayaka went with Karuja Surya with 17 others, and ultimately Mr. Karuja Surya slipped in the stealth of the night back to the UNP, and he just deserted even the son-in-law. So I mean, those are factors which the UNP supporter, I think, appreciates very much.
Now, the president blames the UNP for all this, what happened, and he told the foreign correspondents yesterday that he will appoint a committee, presidential committee.
Yes.
I don't believe in this committee because we need these committees, but we need the reports.
Correct.
So he is saying he's going to, but he is also responsible for this. This was a coalition.
Oh, definitely. He cannot absolve himself from any kind of responsibility. I, of course, feel, Bandula, the decision the president took to remove the Prime Minister was maybe 1.5 years or 2 years too late. Although it's better late than never, this should have been taken long before, when the bond scam came out in the first 3-4 months, and when I know the president requested the Prime Minister to remove Arjuna Mahendran. And when he did not remove Arjuna Mahendran, he should have taken that decision at that time. But the fact is, I met the president.
You were one of his advisors, right?
No, never an advisor. But we have
but
been
you
working.
helped him to bring this government into
Yeah,
power.
definitely. We worked very hard to bring it.
So you're also responsible.
Definitely. We are responsible. We are ashamed of what has happened in these last 3.5 years, Bandula. Basically, him just letting the Prime Minister do whatever he wants, and I have been a ringside participant in seeing how he misused that economic cabinet, special cabinet economic committee, to get and help all his friends, bypassing the cabinet to take various decisions and give it. So I feel we are definitely responsible, and I think the president has taken the right decision, although it's too late.
But then who has suffered? We have suffered.
No,
People have suffered.
People have definitely suffered. I mean, ultimately, due to bad management, poor judgment, the net losers are the voters and the people of this country. This is the chaos which a democracy also brings you into. Now, whatever said and done, Bandula, here, I know there is chaos or there is political turmoil to say, but this is a part of democracy. Even in the best Western countries where they are talking of 5-star democracy, this chaos is there. I mean, the politicians take decisions, the Supreme Court tries to rectify it. So this is the noise and chaos of democracy.
Yeah, but it's affecting the masses.
No, it is. It has to. It will. That is also ultimately it comes back to the masses, because it is them who elect these people to this office. Everyone,
but Maithri, I don't agree with it. All the politicians come here and blame the masses.
No,
but it's the nomination board which selects these people and then put them forward.
No, the point is, Bandula, although the nomination board selects them, puts them forward, now in a nomination list, there will be educated people who are contesting. But unfortunately, under this PR system, they don't have the necessary resources, right, to go and canvass or go and promote themselves. Because, you know, you are talking of 100 million rupees for an election of one single MP to be elected. So how many people who have an honest earning has this amount of money to throw? Because basically, Bandula, it is throwing money.
So that means this system is for the corrupt.
This absolutely. This system is for the corrupt. This system has to be changed. And there again, the president is now making another a wrong mistake of the provincial councils. The provincial councils, they bought it under the mixed system, 50-50, where there will be electorates, 50% of the electorates. So they will have, the candidates will have to run only in a very small area as compared to the PR system. Now, recently the cabinet has decided to go back to the old system. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to bring in corrupt politicians, corrupt system again.
And the officials, you know, you saw this, the corrupt officials are appointed as chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines.
Yes,
overnight things were changed. So that's we don't need this.
No, we don't need it. And President Mahinda Rajapaksa, having served as president for 10 years, he was thrown out of office because of his decisions to appoint these corrupt people and keep them. So now what we can see is Prime Minister Rajapaksa doesn't seem to have learned from his mistakes. If he's continuously going to appoint these corrupt people, irrespective of what the people have, the message the people has given to him during the last presidential election, then of course, I mean, he seems to never learn.
But the president has the final say. He can tell the prime minister, don't do this.
In fairness, Bandula, I think on 2 different occasions, now especially appointment of the chairman of Lanka, within hours, I think it was changed. So, but still there are certain people earmarked for certain positions. Until they go and sit there, we cannot talk. But if it happens, then only conclusion we can come into is that the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, has not learned from his past mistakes. If he at least now corrects himself and appoints proper people to these institutions, Bandula, it can be run profitably. I don't believe that any of the government companies should run at a profit. All of them are profitable, can be made profitable, but they cannot carry political bootlickers who are not qualified, who are not capable to hold those positions. If they put people with some competence to run those 450 odd private enterprises, that itself will turn the financial situation to a better position in this country.
President Sirisena, Prime Minister Rajapaksa and former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, together, combined, they have over 150 years of experience.
Yeah.
Why can't they sit together and discuss? Why they preach us? Why can't they talk things over?
I don't think that happens, Bandula, in this.
Not in this country.
I don't think anywhere in the world.
Other countries it happens. I mean, they talk to each other.
The point is, Bandula, we don't have a national policy now in this country. Irrespective of which government comes into power, we don't have a national policy in place. We should have a national policy, we'll say, for 25 years or 50 years. and that policy should be supported by every government which comes into power. Here what happens is the UNP will come and start a policy. Moment there is a government change in 5 years, or now it's every 2.5 years, 3 years, that policy is reversed and a new policy is adopted by the new government. So therefore, there is not going to be that kind of discussion and going forward. And I would say,
because they don't care about the people.
And they don't more or less they don't care about the people. They don't care about the country.
All three of them.
To a certain extent, degree may vary.
Can you just explain?
No. Now, I would say that when it came to the war, President Mahinda Rajapaksa, I mean, he took certain decisions which were necessary at that time, strong decisions which he has got 100 marks for that. Then when it comes to President Sirisena, now with regard to democracy and things like that, I think after he became the President Bandula, he has been able to re-establish a democratic setup. Of course, it will take a little more time for it to flourish and for it to be fully functional, but he has been able to establish it. But Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, who has been termed as an economic whiz kid, who will turn the economy, right? Yeah. He has basically failed.
So a viewer says, Maithri Gunratne, you are talking nonsense, right? Let me explain. The president has taken positive decision in sacking the government.
Positive decision.
Positive decision, yes. Right? For 2 to 2.5 years, he has allowed Mr. Wickremesinghe to run the government. When things became bad, he took the drastic decision. Why blame him saying it's too late?
No, because if he took this decision before, I mean, he's saying that I'm talking nonsense, but he's agreeing with what I'm saying. All I'm saying is he should have taken this decision before, because at the time of the central bank fraud, when it was discovered, and President Sirisena clearly told the Prime Minister to get rid of Arjuna Mahendran, and when he still appointed a committee within the UNP and whitewashed Arjuna Mahendran, President should have known what type of game he is up to, and he should have got rid of him at that time. So that is where I say that is where the President did not make the correct decision and gave Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe the opportunity to continue. And then the second bond scam, which still has not come out, and there is no presidential commission appointed for the second bond scam. So these are matters which people are waiting to see, because after having made this large sums of money in the first bond scam, they invest that money into the second bond scam. So you just can imagine what kind of money they would have made during the second bond scam, because still that information is not privy to the public.
I want to now move on and discuss about North and East.
Yeah.
People say that there were battles. I think President also said in one of his speeches there was a battle for this housing with Mr. Swaminathan and Sumantiran, yeah. But he is the one who did all that. Do you agree or not?
Who?
The President has given more land, he has instructed the forces.
Definitely, that has to be conceded. He has given more land. Bandula, to be very frank, as for the purpose of promoting our political party, we have established a footprint in Jaffna and the North and the East. And when we go there, we can see that the people are fed up with the TNA, because the TNA is only dividing this country and standing for the division of this country. They are putting the Tamil people against the Sinhalese government in the south.
And I'm sorry, I hate to say, we are all Sri Lankans. Yes. I hate to say Sinhalese, Tamils, that's wrong. Yeah.
No, but the point is, the fact remains, this is the ground situation. We have
to have the Sri Lankan identity.
I am totally with you with regard to the. That is why, as a political party, we went to Jaffna, because we cannot be contesting in isolation from the south. As a political party which has more Sinhalese, we thought no, we cannot be like that. We must get more Tamil people included, and it has to be a Sri Lankan party. That's why we have gone to Jaffna. And when we went to Jaffna, we have seen from so many families, so many areas, thousands of people are unemployed. Housing has not been sorted out. 10,000 families are still in refugee camps. There are so many war widows in Jaffna, where there is no voice for them. There is no development. all the government-owned enterprises in Jaffna, for instance, Kankasanture, cement factory, the Saltons, the Parantan, chemical factory, all those have been closed. Right? So there is no employment. The employment which the government gave those people in those areas also has been completely wiped out now. So basically, those people have no leadership, and the TNA is not giving the leadership. And what puts the final nail on the coffin is, Bandula, in which country, in which democracy does the opposition leader support the Prime Minister to be in office? In which democracy? When you take the no confidence motion against the Prime Minister, which was held about 3 or 4 months ago, none other than the opposition leader with all his support went and supported and to protect the Prime Minister. So this is the only country in the world, only democracy in the world, where the opposition leader is working hand in glove with the Prime Minister and protecting the Prime Minister at the cost of the people who have elected them in the northern and eastern provinces. Those people are impoverished. They have no employment, they have no water, they have no housing. They are, at least the Rajapaksas built the roads.
Yeah, but still, what happened when I remember this present government, Dallas Alahathiruma says, okay, Ranil Wickremesinghe will not be the leader of the opposition. Mrs. Ambandan will continue to be the leader of opposition. Yeah. He is also wrong in saying that, if that is so.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't decide.
So they are playing politics. They are also.
Definitely, that is. I mean, I don't think Mr. Dalasala Peruma can.
Yeah, but even to say things.
Even to say, no, the point is ultimately, Bandula, who the leader of the opposition ultimately will be the person who has the most amount of seats in the opposition. So that may have to go to the UNP, because if they get into opposition, if they don't make this change now and bring in a new leader and take over the country, then they may be in opposition. And I think that is what Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe wants to happen. He does not want, under any circumstance, to lose the leadership of the UNP. So he prefers to be in opposition, and he feels that this support which has gathered now will take him and make him the president in 2020.
You're a lawyer. I don't know whether I should even ask this question, because there is a case pending. But yesterday, when the president addressed the Foreign Correspondents Association, he said whatever he did it legally according to the constitution.
Yes. I agree with whatever he has done. Now, for instance, Bandula, there are two things he did. One was to remove the Prime Minister, right? Having removed the Prime Minister never went to court and challenged that decision. So if it was a wrong decision, the Prime Minister had all the power to go to court and challenge it, and may have even, if it was wrong, he may have even been able to get a stay on. So that decision, now no one can say that is wrong. Then the second decision was to dissolve Parliament. So he took the decision to dissolve Parliament. Parliament was dissolved, and they were going in for an election. Some people went to the Supreme Court and got a stay order. Now see a democracy at work. President dissolves. President says he has the power. He dissolves Parliament. Citizens go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says no, hold the election, suspend the Gazette. We have to go into the matter. So now this is a total democracy at work. So people, I mean, it may be uncomfortable for some, but ultimately this is the form of a democracy. Whereas otherwise, sometimes it would have said, no, the judges also have been, if the stay order was not given, we'll say, then they would have said, no, this has been fixed. But see, the judiciary has acted in an independent manner. And sometimes, after considering both sides, they may later on hold that the president was right, which I feel that this Article 72 of the Constitution was slipped in for the simple reason it was the powers vested by the president under Article 33 and Article 62 does not subject it to Article 70. So if there is a provision which says that the president can't dissolve Parliament until 4.5 years has lapsed, that has to be subject to the powers given to the president. But that has not been done. So and previously in 2002, when Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, I think, tried to bring these amendments at that time, that went to the Supreme Court, 7-bench judgment. And in that 7-bench judgment, Bandula, it has been clearly, categorically stated that any amendment which is going to play around with Article 3 and 4 of the Constitution, the franchise, sovereignty of the people, franchise of the people, has to go into a referendum and a 2/3 majority. So that Article 70, how it came it came into the Constitution, no one knows. But one thing I can say, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, when he was doing the UNP Constitution, he showed one thing, he passed another thing.
But having said that, now we look at yesterday, the Prime Minister Rajapaksa issued a statement. He addressed the nation, and he says we formed a government for an interim period only. What's this nonsense? Yesterday, if you watched his statement, it's an interim period only.
So
that's what he says.
What the interim period he's trying to say is this 1.5 years, because there is only another 1.5 years for this for this whole setup to continue. So he may be mentioning that, but the fact is, Bandula, now he is the Prime Minister. Without only talking, he should start acting. And if he's also still going to make wrong decisions, wrong appointments, then God help him.
Yes. No, but also the UNP says, and the SLFP or whatever this government, they say that they all want power to have cabinet questions to go into an election.
Yeah.
So Mr. Morogoda came with a good suggestion about that interim cabinet from both sides. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's very good. But what is talking about is like a caretaker government.
Caretaker government.
Yeah, that's fine.
15 each from each side.
I think that's a very good, very sensible proposition. And Bandula, both sides now, there is like almost like a stalemate, and I think Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe will jump at it to go in for an election for both parties to bring in a motion in Parliament, give it the 2/3, and then anyway they can go in for an election, because at this moment more pressure being mounted on him to leave and for Sajid to take over. He will take that option, because when he takes that option, he still remains as the leader of the UNP.
But like we discussed before, UNP has become stronger now.
No, UNP has become stronger because they've seen new hope. New hope is new leadership. That is why it is stronger. But the moment, I feel, the moment it is the same wine in the same bottles, chapter closed.
But this is the largest party in this country. This is the oldest party in the country.
Yes. That has no bearing on Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe.
The UNPs will vote for the party.
Not necessarily, no, Bandula. Now, in 1994, when the UNP lost after 17 years of government, they possessed 46% of the vote in 1994 after 17 years of governing the country. Then consecutively from 1994, when Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe took over the leadership, it has come down to 26%. So although the UNP vote base voted for the UNP from 1994 to maybe 2015 or 2018, it has come down to 26%. So that goes to show the erosion of the membership and the supporters. So UNPs, sometimes they never went to vote. I know people for 4-5 elections have not gone to vote. So this is the irony, and this is what Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe does not see. Because why it happens this way? Under the PR system, he knows he puts some fellows there, he catches on the list, they come in, and then he carries on the party.
But he's been a party man.
Who?
Mr. Wickremesinghe.
Yeah, he cannot. I mean, this is the only party which will tolerate him. No other party will tolerate him, because he appoints the working committee. The working committee appoints him, and the show goes on. So if we will say in the SLFP. In the SLFP, in various other parties, if a leader loses maybe 1 or 2 elections, they go. But here, that theory does not apply. Now, Mr. Wickremesinghe portrays himself as a Western type of Democrat, who is very keen in democratic principles and policies and things like that. But what does he do when he has lost so many elections, and he still hangs on? So if he at least goes by his school motto, disque or disque, learn or depart, I mean, he would have learned by that, but he doesn't seem to have learned from his school motto.
Maithri Gunratna, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bandula.
Faraz Shaukat will be back tomorrow, same time. Have a nice day.